Welcome by the fireplace. I've always wanted to say that and now I can. So I have built this by myself. I know it's a little bit bold and a little bit out there, but in general, it has the traditional design. If you paint it white or the color that your room is painted, it's going to blend into your room. So don't be scared. You can still build this if you want to follow along. I will have prices for all the materials that I have bought to build it, including this beautiful fake fireplace flame thing, and I will have everything listed in the description below and here probably on the screen somewhere, so you are well informed how much it's going to cost you. All right, so this is the fireplace that we are going to be creating. It looks weird, I know, maybe you cannot really tell the scale. So I'm 170, and let me just, where do I sit? So basically this is where it's not gonna be exactly this size, probably 10 to 15 centimeters lower than you see it here, but it's going to be quite impressive. So why I'm building a fireplace? First of all, why not? Second of all, because I need to have something different in this apartment. This is an Altbau apartment, and if you know anything about Altbaus, they have a lot of charm, and I want to work with the building, basically with the place, and not change it, if you know what I mean. I want to enhance the space rather than change it to something modern or something like that. So having a fireplace, even if it's a faux fireplace, I think it's going to add so much charm, and especially on this wall that there's nothing happening at the moment. And I will insert a photo here of what I want this wall to look like in the future. Of course, we are also going to be painting this room at some point, but until then, this is, I think, the cheapest thing that we can do. And not only that, we need to do something with this wall because we're sitting across on the couch, and I'll be honest, the view here, it's not very nice. Plus, winter is coming, and having, even if it's a faux fireplace, it's nice to have something that looks cozy. Now let's talk about materials. All right, so let's look at what materials do we need, or at least what materials I'm going to be using. So for the legs, I have chosen this wood. This is normally supposed to be used for decking. As you can see, it has this pattern on it. Yeah, and I have chosen this initially because it was cheap, obviously, but also because of this pattern. So I will not have to add anything on this wood to make the fireplace look really nice. Yeah, it already has a pattern. So that's going to save money. Okay, this was also cheap, so it's a win-win. All right, so the legs will have this pattern on all sides, on all three sides. Yeah. And then what we have here, this is basically the mantel. This is the part that goes on top here, yeah. And then we have another two pieces, this and this. This is basically the front of the fireplace, okay, which will sit like this. Oh, it's very heavy to hold it with one hand. And the other piece is, and this piece, I will basically have to cut it in two or something like that. So we create sort of a box on top of the leg, if that makes sense. Anyway, and to connect everything, I do have wood glue, but to make sure that the fireplace sits in place, I have bought this, which I will show you how I will use, as well as these angle brackets, I think you call them, which I will use to connect the legs, to basically create the legs. So I guess it's time to get into it because I'm talking too much. All right, so I used 3 boards for creating these legs, but I want to say that you have to make sure that the legs align perfectly top and bottom, because the smallest imperfection in height will make your top not align perfectly. So just, you know, a recommendation, make sure that they are perfectly built in that sense. Now, as you can see, I'm using angled brackets. I highly recommend this. I don't know how else you would do it, because the legs, they need to be very sturdy, and you cannot just use wood glue for that. Now I was creating the top of the fireplace, the mantel, and I encountered a few problems here. Of course, I didn't really measure things properly. I had to readjust and recut, and I am recommending you that you measure properly from the beginning. Maybe my measurements will help you. I had no measurements whatsoever from anyone, so you know just saying. Also, because as you can see, the top and the bottom have the wood, basically the about the arrangement in general. I don't understand what's going on here. No matter what I do, it looks horrible. So we have to do something. So the idea now is basically to move everything that is on this wall, move it little insert for this fireplace is just a decorative piece because I was kind of unfinished this way. Plus, I wanted to give it a little bit warmth to the room. Not actual warmth, but visual warmth. So, I'm excited. I'm also a bit worried that this is going to look very eek and cheap.